takeaway?
Well, I mean, I told you the Seahawks would fight. Their backs were against the wall, and that's exactly what they did. They played really good defensively. Kenneth Walker III was really dynamic the entire game. DK Metcalf found his rhythm in the fourth. Obviously, the play to JSN was there. Defensively, Julian Love and Quandre Diggs and Bobby Wagner and the boys, they made it hard for him. You know, the Eagles had some success running the football, but when they got into the red zone, the defense stood pat. They got some important stops near the end. I mean, this Eagles team, I want to say, has looked really good early on and has been stagnant as of late. They haven't scored more than 20 points in the last 3 games. They scored 13 at your Dallas Cowboys, 19 against the San Francisco 49ers, and some of that was garbage time yards. And then they go on to score 17 this game. So, yeah, if I was an Eagles fan, I'd be pretty concerned because I don't see any immediate answers. I don't see quick fixes. You know, they were healthy, relatively healthy offensively. Obviously, Jalen is under the weather, so that's a factor to some degree. But he wasn't under the weather against Dallas. He wasn't under the weather against San Francisco. Nope. And the results were honestly just about the same. So not right now, Skip. I don't think they should be the favorites.
You know, they're not the favorites, right, Richard? That's just not. Just like the Dallas Cowboys, even on paper, and I hate to go here with you, Skip, but you tried to slide it in.
No, I just stuck it in.
Well, you tried to slide it in.
I stuck the knife in.
You know and I know that the Dallas Cowboys are not going to win the division because guess what? The Philadelphia Eagles control their own destiny as far as winning the...
Do they really?
Dude, they got the Giants sandwiched in between the Arizona Cardinals.
You think they can beat the Giants twice?
Yes.
Think they can beat the Giants at the Giants?
Absolutely.
I'm not so sure about that.
I am, but last night's game, Seattle won the game. There's no question about it. They ran the football down the throats of the Philadelphia Eagles. They also targeted in coverage James Bradbury. They found him. 5 completions, 5 targets, 100 yards, and a touchdown. However, when you talk about just the little things, Richard, in the secondary, you win. The first interception, there's a grab and a hold. The little guy's he's got to fight through that. You got to understand to knock that ball down. Just grab Bradbury or Julian Love and bring Julian Love down to the ground and take the 15-yard penalty on offense. Live to see another down. He's got to understand that. Secondly, deep down the right sideline, late in the game, DK Metcalf, don't close your eyes. Okay, yeah, he's a big body. Go through him. That's the difference between the NFL game when I played and where it's at now. If that's a receiver back in the day going on that sideline, you're going to get splattered. It looked like he closed his eyes and didn't want to hit DK. Easy catch. Now you're in position, they're in position to win the football game. But back to the rush defense, over the last 3 weeks, the Eagles have given up 145 yards on the ground per game. You cannot win that way. You just can't. They've got to fix that. Yeah, they thought they fixed it with Matt Patricia. He dialed up some interesting stuff there, Richard, here and there, where they put some pressure on Locke and they got to him and they disrupted some things on third downs. It looked good for a minute, but when it counted most, Bill Belichick wasn't standing there on that sideline. And so, look, Philadelphia's got to fix some things, and I think they got 3 weeks to do it, 3 games left. The Giants, Arizona Giants, and I believe that they will. They may not go far come playoff time if they don't fix it, but they're going to win the division, Skip. I'm sorry to break the news to you. They're going to win the division.
I'm sorry to break your spirit, your will, and your heart. Ultimately, I don't think they will. But I have first guessed this from the start. What did I tell you before the season started, sitting right here in this chair? The Eagles' defense is overrated. It's such a disaster that I've never heard of this before, but Nick Sirianni changed defensive coordinators in December. Have you ever heard this? You guys played this game a long time.
Some teams switch up some stuff.
Not like that. The defensive coordinator, you switch him out, you send him upstairs in late December, and all of a sudden you bring in Coach Pencil, and he's down there with his pencil behind his ear. And what happened? The same stuff kept happening because what did Debo call James Bradbury? Remember that?
Gettable, right?
Well, he just
what do
said
they call it?
trash. He just called him trash.
Trash.
And he looked like a little bit of trash. I know that's a strong word, but on that final play. Well, he did. He got smoked, and he was getting smoked a lot last night. So the point is, I first guessed this going back 6 weeks ago because I kept sitting in this same chair morning after morning. I kept telling you guys, wait a second. Did you see what the Eagles got away with yesterday and yesterday and yesterday? They went 4 straight games in which they trailed at halftime and they got outgained by their opponent 4 straight times, and they won all 4 games because their quarterback made magic in the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, late in the game, whenever he needed to make magic, and Jalen Hurts has returned to earth. I looked up last night and realized that Jalen Hurts is now tied with Josh Allen and a couple of others for the league lead in turnovers. He is turning over the ball at a very high rate. So I kept saying, wait a second, the Eagles are teetering. They're on the edge of the cliff. They're walking that tightrope, and they're on borrowed time. And all of a sudden, their time ran out because, wait a second, as Richard just pointed out, not only have they lost 3 straight games, they can't score. They're under 23 straight games, as Richard pointed out, 19, 13, and 17. They got all these weapons. They got A.J. Brown. What's Michael call him? I don't even know what it is. Something about something 11, AB 11 or whatever it is. He's there 11 from Evan. Michael Irvin, love you, man. But they got that guy, and they got Devontae, and Goddard is back. And Swift is running the ball like Taylor Swift sings songs. You know, it's like they got it all. And they got the best offensive line in football. And they got this guy. And wait a second, didn't they go get Kevin Byard? And you guys said, oh, Dallas is in trouble because they got Kevin Byard. And then they went and got Shaq Leonard. Uh-oh, Jerry should have gotten Shaq Leonard. They're in trouble now. Well, they play. They've been playing. They played last night. Shaq played a bunch of plays last night. And it didn't seem to fix the problem because they just got problems on defense. I think they got problems as a football team. I haven't been impressed with them for 7 straight weeks. I don't know. It's just clear to me that Dallas is better than Philadelphia. So, Keyshawn, you better be right. They better be able to beat the Giants 1 out of 2. I mean, 2 out of 2 and hope they don't lose one.
I think they will, Skip. They'll win out, and I believe you guys will lose to Miami or Detroit or both. And that's unfortunate. Just, I mean, if they go both, that'd be a war for afraid to go into the playoffs. But but I don't think Philadelphia will be confident going into the playoffs with the division win or not. You know, that'll be one of them times because of what has happened the last 3 games. You know, they've gotten beaten handily. And so they don't feel confident they can be. They don't feel confident they can beat Dallas right now. Definitely not in Dallas. No. They don't feel like they can beat San Francisco
they're
anywhere.
Not in the same league as San Francisco. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then and
did you see Drew Lock last night in tears? I mean, I don't know why any team that beats us thinks they just won the Super Bowl or something. I mean, can we put it in perspective here? That's 1 regular season game. I mean, Niner fans, Cowshit fans, I know how you guys roll, man. You guys just freak out over every single regular season game. But pay attention to the last 30 years. You know what's happening in a couple weeks once the playoffs start. Your guys' season's going to end early, especially the Cowboys because you guys can't win a fucking game on the road. The Niners are absolutely hilarious. It's like the same thing over and over and over and over again. 30 years, tons of regular season hype. Sometimes they even get to the Super Bowl. But inevitably, what happens? Well, it happened a few times already this season. If everything isn't perfect for Lemon Boy back there, they're 0-3. You know, you miss one piece here, one piece there. All of a sudden, everything's not perfect. Guess what happens to Purdy shitty? He has a pretty shitty game. Okay? I mean, how does Shanahan do when he's down? I mean, excuse me, I call it Shanna shit. How does he do when the team's down in the 4th quarter? He's 0-37. Purdy shitty Lemon Boy 5-yard dink and dumper is 0-3. That's what it is. So all this regular season hype for you 49 queer fans, sorry, but it's not going to end well. You have a stacked roster, but the most important piece is a fucking lemon that can't throw the ball more than 5 yards. You guys have the fewest pass attempts in the league, and you have the most passing yards behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, the coach is telling you what he's working with the quarterback, and that's because you paid everybody else. The problem that he doesn't realize is that you actually need a game changer to take you to win the Super Bowl. I covered that in the last video. You can't... Last time a game manager type won was on the Ravens with Ray Lewis, with Joe Flacco, and even he's been balling a little bit this year. I would still take him over Purdy any day of the week. Matter of fact, you can't name a lot of quarterbacks in the league. If you're starting a roster, you're not starting with fucking Lemonhead, Purdy boy. It's not happening. Okay? The guy's fragile as fuck. You guys aren't going to win with him in the playoffs. If you do maybe win one game, trust me, it's not going to be the Super Bowl because he has proven, just like the coach, in crunch time, he cannot make a play. He's 0-3. Shannashit's 0-37. Think about that, man. Shannashit built this team. It's almost like he built this team to have excuses at the end because you have this crazy stacked roster, and of course you'll never pay the quarterback, but what's the most important position on the field? And you put a lemon back there. Little dink and dump 5-yarder. It's not going to happen. Big picture, not going to happen. Last night's game, that was a tough loss. I mean, Jalen made a couple bad decisions. Think about the ceiling, though, okay? We've had arguably one of the worst defense. We've had the worst defense on third down all year. We're somewhere in the bottom third defense overall. But we're still 10-4. What's going to happen? We're going to end the season 13-4. We're going to win our division again because the Cowshits are going to lose to the Dolphins. They might lose to Detroit. I mean, you can't really... they're trash. And then guess what? Road game, first game in the playoffs. Dakota's not doubling his one career playoff win in the last almost 10 years. Not happening. Same thing with the Niners, who are they're like this big old emo roller coaster ride. It's just, weeks 1 through 5, we're 5-0. Oh my God, then what happens? Oh, actually, the same thing that's going to happen this week. You're going to play another AFC North team that's going to kick your teeth in. So, it's not easy being a Cowshits or a 49 queer fan, is it? I mean, just every year, same stuff. Same stuff. 30-year losing streak for both of you guys is going to remain intact. That's what it is. See you next